Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Juliet, and Happy New Year. Happy 2026. I feel like we have this huge blank canvas in front of us, and I love it. The energy is very much of releasing and resetting and making space for this version of us that we want to show up as in this new year. So, with that in mind, I kind of wanted to touch on some yoga philosophy that I think is very aligned with this energy and can kind of help us understand how we can use this energy to benefit us. So, let's just jump right in. So, in the ancient texts of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, we have this framework for yoga called the Eight Limb Path. And the eight limb path is not only for physical yoga poses, it's actually just one of the limbs. And we have 7 other limbs. And we're gonna dive in deeper later on because there's so much to talk about here. So today I wanted to discuss the second limb, that is the niyamas. And the niyamas are pretty much like rules for personal behavior. It's kind of a guideline for our inner world and how we can think about ourselves for self-discipline and living in a yogic way. Simply put, the niyamas are like personal habits for our inner world. If the yoga poses are for our body, the niyamas are for our mind. So how do we relate to ourselves? How do we treat our mind? How do we think about and take care of our inner world? So today we're just going to discuss the first niyama of Saucha, which literally translates into cleanliness and purification of our inner and outer world, which I thought was pretty much what we're trying to do with this new year. We want to have this clean canvas, this blank slate that we can then, fill in with things that we actually want without dragging on past behaviors or objects, physical objects, mental objects that no longer align with who we want to become. First, I wanted to discuss our physical space, our outer world. I think this is the easier task to take on because I think that our mind will kind of be a reflection of our outer world. So ways that we can physically Sauchify our life, I think organizing our room, organizing our physical space is very important. Decluttering, getting rid and letting go of a lot of things that we haven't used in probably the past year, 6 months, things that we don't really feel identified with and we're just using them because it's all we have. I think we need to let go in order to let in. So it is really purging all of our physical things that we have, as well as our digital world. I think it's equally as important in the modern world to look at our digital space, to look at our messages and our emails and the people that we follow on social media and our contacts and pictures. Physically, that's in our physical space. I think it's also really important to clean, like deep clean. I'm talking like bleaching everything, cleaning the things that don't usually get cleaned, like our blinds and like the walls, like our very top shelves. Deep cleaning is incredibly important. I think that is a really good way to clean the slate, starting fresh. So for mental saucha, I like to view it as just mental hygiene and purity of our thoughts, which means understanding and having the right relationship with our mind. Thoughts don't wish to be changed or fixed. We can't suppress our thoughts. Like, that's not purification. It's more of like shining a flashlight on our thoughts, bringing awareness so that we're no longer trapped in the thought, but we're rather the outside observer. And awareness brings choice. Awareness creates choice, and choice creates freedom. So once we step out, we have room to kind of decide who we are and how we want to be. Again, mental saucha is not suppression of thoughts. How many times has somebody told you, don't think about this? And obviously, the first thing you're going to do is think about that one thing. It's not about choosing what kind of thoughts you're going to have. I don't think that's possible. But I think that once we become aware and we create space between our thoughts and ourselves, we can kind of have a little bit of room to play. like so impurity of the mind can show up as comparison with other people. It can show up as judging our inner feelings, our inner thoughts, ourselves, having very negative internal inner dialogue. It can also show up as living too much in the past, so reliving things that already happened, or even in the future, imagining the future world, all these things that you want. I think that it's okay to tap into those as resources, but not living in these for a significant amount of time. Personally, a way that I have figured out how to know if this is a thought that's not very pure or serving me any good is really to focus on how I feel. So I'll first notice the feeling. So if I am feeling guilty, or I feel fear, or I am feeling some sort of negative emotion, I will go to my thoughts and I'll ask myself, what am I thinking right now? What kind of thought is this? So mental saucha is really about discernment and challenging our subconscious, questioning, is that a thought that is mine? Is that a thought that I really truly feel? Or is that something that is conditioned? Is that something projected on by somebody else? Is this a thought that I truly feel aligned with, that I truly can connect with and is doing me good? Or is this something that I don't actually believe? So, a few ways that we can cultivate this in our mind is, first, it's like inner friendliness. So, like, befriend your mind and yourself. Observe how you talk to yourself. Inner dialogue is karma in motion. Your inner dialogue is actually creating your outer world. It's very important to be extremely selective with the way that we speak to ourselves. And at first, it's very difficult because it's almost automatic. Our subconscious will immediately take us to the way that we've always spoken to ourselves. It takes us multiple times of repeating this new belief to make it stick. Like, it's very normal. Like when you're riding a bike, you don't get it on the first try. You need to kind of keep doing it a few times until it becomes automatic, and then you ride a bike for the rest of your life and you never forget how to ride one. So it's kind of like that. You need to continuously reinforce this new belief system until it becomes kind of the automatic way of thinking. Another thing that's really important is energetic boundaries. So, what we consume. So, now that we've kind of purged everything that we no longer want, similar to our house, it's what are we going to let in? So, what kind of media we consume, what kind of people we're talking to, what environments are we in, even what kind of food we're eating, what are we buying in our space. It's being selective about all the things that we're going to allow in. So, another way that we can practice and cultivate mental saucha is meditation. I mean, that is the most common way, I think. You could do this guided or unguided, but it's really, when you meditate, you are like the awareness that is looking at the thoughts. So, meditation is not about, again, suppressing the thoughts, it's about letting them pass without attachment. So, the last thing I really love is to stop multitasking and slow down. I think our society pushes us to have to do a million things at the same time and in a very short period of time. And that's just not realistic. And it's making it worse for ourselves and our like mental health, frankly. So, doing one thing at a time, slowly and with awareness and intention, I think it has been life changing. So, yeah, that was my interpretation of Saucha and ways that I am going to use it to help me as the new year commences. So, I hope that you learned something. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it helps you in any way. And thank you for being here. Have a great day.